the most mysterious and terrifying archaeological discoveries that scientists never expected. Hello, have you ever wondered if the ancient mysteries that you usually only hear about in books or movies actually exist in real life? Archaeology has taken us from one surprise to another over the years, from mysterious ancient temples and old artifacts suddenly appearing after centuries of being buried, to strange mummies holding stories that are impossible to explain. All of these are tied to ancient rituals, mysteries that sometimes even leave archaeologists in awe. But the most fascinating part is that there are eerie details that the field of archaeology has to face throughout its discoveries. In this video, I'd like to invite you to uncover some recent archaeological findings, discoveries that have left the whole world stunned and constantly talking. Get ready, because I think the stories below will truly amaze you. Gay people, 5,000 years ago. Many people, including some scientists, still believe that homosexuality is a product of modern civilization, with the trend increasingly spreading. But was this the case during the early stages of human society? It wasn't until 2011 that Czech archaeologists could provide an answer. Yes. Specifically, in 1964, scientists discovered historical evidence showing that the first same-sex couple appeared around 2400 BC. They were two male royal nail workers in ancient Egypt named Neankhnum and Khnumhotep. Upon their deaths, they were buried together as if they were a married couple. At first, when this tomb was discovered, scientists speculated that perhaps the pair were twin brothers buried together. They temporarily called the tomb the Tomb of Brothers. But as they continued their research, they found that the images in the tomb, which depicted two men, resembled those of a married couple more than of brothers. What was surprising was that Neankhnum had a wife. Some images of his wife were painted on the tomb, but they were later erased for unknown reasons, and in some pictures, Khnumhotep was painted in the position of the wife. The names of Neankhnum and Khnumhotep were also written next to each other, with the meaning together in life and death. Scientists believe this is truly a surprise, and perhaps a royal secret that was kept hidden. At that time, only pharaohs and close royal family members were allowed to build tombs, so it's certain that Neankhnum and possibly Khnumhotep were related to the royal family. According to the scientists, the word gay or homosexual didn't appear in the modern sense until 1920, and before that, such relationships were rarely mentioned in history. If this is the case, then concluding that homosexuality is a product of modern civilization is completely wrong, as it has existed since ancient times. Homosexuality, along with bisexuality and heterosexuality, is one of the three main sexual orientations on the sexual orientation spectrum, with asexuality sometimes considered the fourth. According to science, sexual orientation is not a choice, but is influenced by complex factors of both genetics and environment. Homosexuality is an example of the diversity of human sexual orientations, and it is not the cause of negative psychological effects. To this day, there are still many studies aimed at answering the question, where did homosexuality come from, and when did it first appear? It's difficult to answer this question. What do you think the answer might be? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section so everyone can know. Steel coffin containing the remains of 50 British soldiers. Recently, an incredible discovery was made when researchers found the wreck of the British submarine HMS Tarpon, located 70 miles off the coast of Denmark, nearly 8 decades after it went missing at the bottom of the sea. This is not only a significant scientific event, but also a tragic and mysterious story tied to the history of World War II. The first images recorded by the diving team showed a chilling sight. The submarine's periscope was shattered, several hatches were wide open, and there was severe damage to the hull, likely the result of a torpedo attack. Notably, 2 empty torpedo tubes clearly indicated the brutal nature of the underwater battle. The discovery of the HMS Tarpon wreck was the result of years of dedicated research by an international team of experts, including Gert Norman Andersen, the owner of the Maritime War Museum in Denmark, and Dr. Innes McCartney, a maritime archaeologist at Bournemouth University in the UK. The research team used advanced sonar technology to pinpoint the location of the ship. When found, the tarpon lay upright on the seabed, surrounded by schools of cod, debris, ropes, and fishing nets. all relics of time. The tragic journey of the HMS Tarpon began in April 1940, when the 275-feet submarine departed from Rosyth, Scotland, with the mission of attacking merchant ships supplying weapons to Nazi-occupied Norway. Just 5 days after departure, the Tarpon launched 2 torpedoes at the armed merchant ship Schiff 40. However, both torpedoes missed their target. The German Navy detected the British submarine through sonar, and in a swift counterattack, they dropped mines that caused the Tarpon to sink, killing all 50 crew members aboard. This discovery is not only an important archaeological event, but also carries profound humanitarian significance. By regulation, the wreck of the HMS Tarpon is considered a mass war grave of the British military. It is not just a historical monument, but also a reminder of the sacrifices made by soldiers in the brutal wars of the past. And surely the story of the HMS Tarpon will continue to inspire research into warfare, history, and underwater technology. So what can we do to remember and honor those who sacrificed their lives in this war? Perhaps we each need to take a moment to reflect on the tireless efforts of the researchers who not only uncovered the truth about the lost submarine, but also brought the deserving tribute to these once-forgotten heroes. The mysterious hanging coffins. In the majestic mountainous region of Gongxian, Sichuan, China, there is a mysterious and enigmatic story waiting to be uncovered. It involves ancient wooden coffins hanging in mid-air, hidden on the sheer cliffs, suspended by just 2 to 3 simple wooden beams. This is a strange burial site, with tombs that have existed for thousands of years, yet no one truly knows why the ancients chose such a peculiar method of burial. According to researchers, these tombs belong to the Bo people, an enigmatic tribe that vanished around 400 years ago. Each coffin is made from a hollowed-out tree trunk. One of the oldest tombs among them dates back over 3,000 years, while the most recent one is only about 400 years old. No one really knows why the Bo people buried their deceased in this manner, but researchers believe that this method of burial was not only a ritual, but also a way for the living to connect with the divine. The coffins hanging on the cliff faces were not just the resting places for the dead, but also a way to bring their souls closer to the gods, to remain in eternal peace and protection. Furthermore, it is believed that hanging the coffins on such high cliffs also served to protect the bodies from being disturbed by wild animals, while blessing the souls of the departed, ensuring their tranquility and immortality through time. As you can see, although no one can precisely prove the reasons behind these tombs, the hanging coffins on the cliffs of Gongxian remain a vivid testament to the secrets of a vanished culture. We, the living, cannot help but wonder if we also have our own unique ways of facing death and preserving the memories and spirits of our ancestors for eternity. These tombs, though only remnants, are still a part of a story that we have yet to fully uncover. The mysterious deep pits in the forests of Russia. Since the late 1980s, mysterious pits have been discovered in the dense forests of Russia. This strange phenomenon has since become a scientific enigma with no satisfactory explanation. These peculiar pits have been found in 3 main regions: Ryazan and Kaluga provinces in the west, and Krasnoyarsk in central Russia. Some appear to have existed for hundreds of thousands of years, while others seem to have appeared overnight. These pits are deep and vertical, as though drilled by some advanced, sophisticated machine. The most famous pit, which went viral online, is located in a dense forest that is inaccessible by car or truck and where no equipment can be brought in to dig deep into the earth. There were no signs of earth or rock being excavated. Another mysterious pit was discovered in Kaluga by a shepherd named Pyotr Malinkin. While grazing his herd on the pasture, Malinkin wandered around the area within a 3-mile radius and suddenly discovered a large pit with a diameter of about 20 feet. Malinkin was astonished, as this was something that had never occurred before. It seemed as if the pit had appeared overnight. The herd of cows seemed to sense something dangerous. They appeared frightened, unwilling to approach the pit or graze on the grass nearby. When researchers arrived to investigate the site, locals told them that the pit had only appeared overnight. There were no signs of digging equipment nearby, and no earth or rock had been removed from the pit. The pit was not perfectly round but had an oval shape. Inside, the pit's walls were smooth, with a depth of about 15 feet and some water collecting at the bottom. Locals also mentioned that several decades ago, a large pit had appeared about 1.25 miles from the area. In the past, villagers would throw sacks of grain into the pit as offerings. During the Soviet era, they even threw branches and stones inside, but could never fill the pit. However, when researchers arrived to check, they could no longer find the pit, as trees and brush had covered the area. Near the pit, there is a strange spring known as the Angry Spring. Whenever someone approaches, the water in the spring begins to boil. If people talk nearby, the water will boil even more intensely. Notably, there used to be a church where the spring flows, and according to ancient accounts, the church was buried underground when Napoleon's army invaded the area in 1812. The cause of this event remains a mystery. Some explain that Kaluga is located on a limestone area. Groundwater corrosion could have formed limestone caves beneath the earth, and the church may have been sucked into one of these caves. However, this does not explain the appearance of the strange pits or why the walls of the pits are so perfectly smooth and slick. There are many different hypotheses to explain these mysterious pits. Some believe they are a natural phenomenon, while others insist they were dug from beneath the earth by a mysterious group of people. Some even speculate about extraterrestrial involvement, claiming the pits are the result of aliens taking soil samples. However, all these hypotheses remain speculative, with no solid scientific evidence. The truth behind these strange pits remains an enigma that challenges our limited understanding. WAM, the 10 million square feet underground city beneath an ancient castle. Beneath the historic foundations of the ancient Zerzevan Castle in the Diyarbakir province of southeastern Turkey, scientists have uncovered an incredible settlement. It is a multi-level underground city that spans an area of up to 10 million square feet, with the capacity to house thousands of people. The excavation also revealed fortifications in the form of walls and watchtowers surrounding the ancient castle. Meanwhile, the mysterious city beneath the castle includes a church and a water canal that stretches for several miles at least. Additionally, archaeologists unearthed a seal from the Assyrian period, engraved on a stone block dating back 3,000 years. Zerzevan Castle itself, also known as the Samachi Fortress, is a monument with a rich and diverse history. Originally, the castle was established as a frontier outpost for the Roman Empire in the 3rd century AD. The castle was later inherited, expanded, and modified over the centuries, primarily during the 3rd to 5th centuries. Today, the castle is in ruins, but it still attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors each year, even though the visitor center has yet to be completed. Legend has it that during peaceful times, around 1,500 people, including soldiers and civilians, lived within the castle walls. However, during times of conflict, the population within the fortress swelled to up to 10,000 people, including locals seeking refuge. This may have been the reason for the creation of the mysterious underground city, which was carefully renovated. Around 6 residential areas have been excavated around the castle within its defensive walls. Archaeologists estimate that up to 100 such residential areas lie beneath the surface. The excavation is ongoing, with hopes to uncover more about this unique method of habitation, as well as the remarkable findings that have already surfaced, including administrative buildings and weapons storage areas. The tunnel beneath the pyramid reveals the mystery of the Maya serpent god. Around the early 16th century, Spanish invaders discovered the Kukulkan Temple at the Chichen Itza archaeological site in Mexico. This pyramid, once owned by the ancient Maya, hides unsolved mysteries. Recently, yet another mystery at Kukulkan was uncovered. Experts have discovered a secret tunnel inside the pyramid, believed to lead to an underground water cave known as a cenote, where the Maya performed live human sacrifices. With this discovery, archaeologists believe that the mystery of Maya religious beliefs will soon be revealed, as the Maya knew of this underground cave but never had access to it. Specifically, experts from the Great Mayan Aquifer Project, led by archaeologist Guillermo de Anda, used the latest imaging technology. They employed ground-penetrating radar, sending electromagnetic signals through the thick walls and structures within the pyramid and mapping the entire site using the feedback signals. As a result, they found a passage leading to a smaller burial chamber called the ossuary. Although the path is currently sealed, the Kukulkan pyramid was built between 900 and 1100 AD, making it a millennium-old monument. The name Kukulkan actually refers to the Maya god, depicted as a giant feathered serpent. Kukulkan grew in a cave and would appear with an earthquake. In 2015, scientists discovered a massive sinkhole beneath the temple. At that time, they feared that this sinkhole could lead water upwards, as there is an underground river below, which might cause the entire pyramid structure to collapse. This underground cenote is believed to be connected to other sinkholes to the north, west, and east of the pyramid. The sinkhole directly beneath the pyramid measures around 82 to 115 feet in diameter and is 66 feet deep. The Terracotta Army of the First Emperor of China. The tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, is considered the largest mausoleum in the world, and also one of the most bizarre burial structures in human history. It lies deep underground in a hill in central China, over 2,000 years old, surrounded by a moat filled with mercury. The tomb holds the secrets of the first emperor of China, who died in 210 BC after uniting 6 warring states into one unified China. The K9801 burial area, located between the inner and outer walls, lies about 656 feet southeast of the tomb. This rectangular flat area, with a length of 426 feet east-west and a width of 328 feet north-south, covers more than 139,931 square feet, making it the largest burial site found within the Qin Shi Huang tomb complex. Archaeologists have unearthed a large number of stone helmets and armor woven with copper wire stacked on top of each other. The armors total 87 pieces and the helmets number 43. Experts have analyzed that the armor-making technique had to combine the technology of crafting protective gear of that time. First, they made armor blanks out of slate, then ground them into armor pieces, drilled and polished them, and finally connected them using copper threads. Through experiments, it was found that if a worker were to craft a single suit of armor using 600 pieces, working an average of 8 hours a day, it would take from 344 to 444 days to complete. This means it would take at least 1 year to make a single suit of armor. The helmets and armor in the burial area are estimated to be made of over 5 million pieces of stone, indicating that a large workforce was needed for their production. An estimated 700,000 war prisoners and slaves likely participated in constructing this complex and waterproof structure. Afterward, they were killed to keep the secrets of the tomb hidden. According to historical records, this vast underground complex contains thousands of stone armors and helmets. Currently, 2 pits have been excavated containing horse reins, chariot parts, bronze axes, arrows, and other military items. Therefore, experts believe that this burial site of Qin Shi Huang should be called the Underground Weapons Vault. According to Chinese historical records, Qin Shi Huang, born in 259 BC, was the first emperor of the Qin dynasty, one of the 6 ancient Chinese states. These smaller states fought among themselves for over 200 years until Qin Shi Huang conquered all of them and unified China, declaring himself emperor. When he died, Qin Shi Huang was buried in one of the most magnificent tombs ever built in China. It is a vast complex of tombs and palaces, larger than a city, containing underground caves filled with armies, concubines, servants, and the luxuries that the emperor would need in the afterlife. Today, the tomb of Qin Shi Huang has become a major tourist destination, attracting scholars and visitors from all over the world. However, the secrets inside the tomb of this emperor remain a mystery and continue to be explored by archaeologists. The fossilized woolly mammoth of the Ice Age. About 200,000 years ago, a majestic and mysterious scene unfolded in what is now near the town of Swindon, England. The gigantic skeletons of 2 adult mammoths, 2 juvenile mammoths, and a baby mammoth were unearthed, opening up a previously untold story about a distant era in Earth's history. What makes this discovery even more special is that alongside these remains, archaeologists also found stone tools used by Neanderthals. These prehistoric people, with their impressive intelligence and strength, might have hunted these 10-ton creatures, not just for food, but also as a challenge posed by the freezing nature of the environment. However, this is not all. The vast excavation site could still hold many more discoveries, providing important clues about a period few of us know about. The excavation site lies in a gold mine, which was once home to the giant creatures of the Ice Age, such as the moose with antlers over 30 feet long. These animals were not only impressive in size, but also serve as evidence of environmental change, climate, and the interaction between species. Not only large animals, but even small creatures contributed to this ecological picture. A species of dung beetle evolved alongside the giant animals, feeding on their dung and using it as shelter. Seeds, pollen, and plant fossils, including those from extinct species, were also preserved over millions of years, reminding us of the biodiversity of a glorious era when everything was interconnected. Archaeologists consider this discovery one of the most important finds in British paleontology. One of the marvels of this excavation is the discovery of almost complete mammoth skeletons, which is extremely rare. In fact, during the survey, researchers discovered that the location where these mammoths fell is where they had died hundreds of thousands of years ago, alongside valuable artifacts like stone tools and seashells, items they might have trampled underfoot. What is interesting is that these discoveries not only help us imagine the lives of these giant animals, but also give us a clearer understanding of the lives of Neanderthal ancestors. The traces and tools they left behind shed light on a key part of human history, showing us how humans faced the harsh conditions of the Ice Age. Some skeletons even show signs of slaughter, highlighting the relationship between Neanderthals and these giant creatures. Scientists believe the mammoths and the artifacts date back to around 220,000 years ago, when Britain was still inhabited by Neanderthals during an interglacial period known as MI7. Over time, the cold climate forced Neanderthals to migrate south, and the area became a vast plain where both animals and humans coexisted. The steppe mammoth, the largest mammoth species, arrived about 5 million years ago and survived until around 200,000 years ago. They could weigh as much as 33,000 pounds, 3 times the weight of today's African elephants. This shows the incredible adaptation of these elephants to the ever-changing environment. However, surveys also suggest that these creatures may have died due to a massive ice flood or from being hunted by Neanderthals. All these discoveries provide a profound view of life during the Ice Age, helping us not only understand the existence of ancient animals, but also explore the complex relationship between them and the Neanderthals, people who survived and adapted in a world full of challenges. Their story is not only about survival, but also about how humans have, and may continue to, learn from nature to survive in an ever-changing world. What do you think about this discovery? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos. Until then, goodbye, and see you next time.